Today is the big day. Will I pass? We're going to find out. Hello, truckers, drivers, and adventurers. I am the Killer Trucker in training. And today is the big day where I am going to be taking my CDL test. The written part is already done. That's what got me the permit. So today is going to be the pre-trip inspection and the backing skills, where it's going to be straight line backing, offset left parking, and then parallel parking to the blind side, which is to the right. And then after that is the road test. Am I a little nervous? Yes, I'm a little nervous because this is a day that I've been looking forward to for a few months now, is testing and getting that CDL, because I thought I would already have it by now with rail transport. And well, that didn't quite work out the way that I had hoped. So I decided to go with Swift instead. And well, here I am. We've been logging each day as we go. And today is the big day. So I have a few hours before I have to go there. It's I still woke up at 4 o'clock in the morning, and I'm just in that habit because the bus would pick us up at 5:10. I won't need to take the bus because I have my van, and I went downstairs just out of paranoia and checked to make sure that the tires were good, nothing was flat, and it's fine, it's good to go. I don't have to be over at the Swift facility until 12 o'clock. The test time is 1:15. Considering that I am going to have to walk from the parking area over to the testing area, which is still on the range, I'm going to get there. I'm going to plan on getting there about 11:45. So I can have time to walk over there. So I'd say I'm going to leave the hotel here at 11:30, get there around 11:45, and then walk over there and get there at 12. So that's it. So this morning I'm going to do some practicing with the pre-trip, which I'm confident I'll be fine with that. I just, don't want to make any stupid mistakes. I'll work on a video, and I think I'm just, since I've got American Truck Simulator on my laptop here, I'm just going to do some practicing with it. I don't have my wheel or pedals, but I know all the things that I should be doing, and if anything, it's a great way for me to practice my commentary and those left and right turns, making sure that I line up with the line that I need to do, so I can clear the tandems and stuff like that. So it's not a close. I mean, it'll be somewhat close to approximate. It's not going to be accurate, but it's at least a little something to just kind of get me warmed up, I guess you could say. But yeah, let's stop talking, and I will see you in several hours. At least it will be for me. For you, it'll be a matter of minutes. Oh yeah, and I've got my Lucky Charms oatmeal here. So let's hopefully this will do the trick, right? Okay, I'm back from the big test day. How did it go? Well, let me show you.
Hey everyone, I'm here in the truck. My examination is done. We have passed. It's time for a celebration. Woo!
That's right, everyone. I passed. Yeah. When I finished up, the examiner said, "Turn it off, shut it off. Welcome to Swift," is what he said. I'm like, all right. Of course, I already had the hat, but folks, I did it. I actually did it. For those of you who have been with me for years, when I started that American Truck Simulator and Euro Truck Simulator, and, driving all over the place and going the wrong way and going over stuff, now you can really be scared because I'm really going to be out on the road. But no, things are definitely different. I've gone from that to actually, doing this stuff for real. So it's crazy. It's really crazy. I mean, I thought about, being a trucker, off and on. It was just kind of one of those things that's like, yeah, it'd be kind of cool if one of those types of things. Just kind of like, I've always wanted to be a pilot. But one is a little bit more achievable than the other. At least with the trucking school, there's a way that it can be completely paid. Unfortunately, there's no way to do that with an actual pilot's license. You actually have to pay the money out of pocket and be able to do that. At least I've never come across any type of employer that will pay it for you where you don't have to pay out of pocket. So if there had been, I sure as heck would have gone for it. But for right now, I mean, this is the most realistic avenue that I've got to be able to get into a new career that will be able to financially support me into being able to get my pilot's license. How cool would that be? A trucker and a pilot. Yeah. And if I can, you know what plane I'm going to get, don't you? Yeah, you do. You know what plane I'm going to get. For those of you who have not watched my other videos, what you doing? You need to watch my other videos. Watch my flight sim videos so that way you know which plane I would be buying for real. There's one particular plane. All right, peace. Anyway, let's talk about what happened today. So, my testing was not until 1:15, so I had time. I didn't sleep in. I woke up same time as I usually do. I went out, checked my van, make sure the tires were good, because the last thing I wanted to do was be late for my test, but everything was fine. And so I went back upstairs to the hotel. I thought about working on a video, and I'm like, no, I really need to practice. So I went through and did my practice on the pre-trip. So I used my model. So I used this model and did my pre-trip. And I recorded it. And the footage from that is actually showed up on day number 2. So what you're seeing on that episode is on the actual day of the test, where I was doing the entire pre-trip inspection all the way around, and then checking to see if I missed anything. So I did that, and then the other thing that I knew I needed to work on was my road practice, my road driving. Because I had done the skills enough times, but I didn't do any road practice since last Friday. Now you're probably thinking, well, what did I do? I loaded up American Truck Simulator on my laptop, and I did 3 deliveries with it. As I was doing my deliveries, I said the commentary out loud. So I was driving and I would say, I'm approaching a red light. I'm going to stop here before the white lines. The speed limit is 35. My safe speed is 30. I'll be making a right turn up here. I'll be turning 5 to 7 miles per hour around the curb. And I'm going to pull out far enough to make that right turn so that my tandem's clear. All that stuff. Coming up to a bridge, it's unmarked, 80,000 pounds or more. Coming up to an overpass, it's unmarked. Most of them are unmarked, at least from what I saw. It's 14.6 or higher. So I did all of that just as if I was in a truck. The interesting thing is when I was doing the practice runs, the deliveries on American Truck Simulator, I was given a double. I was given a double trailer. So I had to be extra aware of the tandem wheels because the last trailer doesn't follow the same path as the first one does. But you folks would be impressed. Those of you who watched my truck simulator videos from the very beginning, you'd be impressed. I didn't hit any cars or anything. Well, one car I think it did hit me, and that was in a roundabout. Because all I know is I was pulling in, it was all fine, and then boof, some car hit me. So I don't think that was my fault. But yeah, I mean, it just, my goodness, my skills with it have just improved so much. And I didn't have my wheel or my pedals with me. I was just using the little, gamepad controller that I have that I, used with that simulator a while ago, or for most of that series actually. But I knew that if I could do it on the controller, I could certainly do it with a wheel. The wheel and the pedals are a lot easier. Trying to do it with a hand controller is not so easy. But yeah, so I did like 3 practice runs, and I had gotten a message from the academy leader at Swift who wanted me to come in early to do the testing for the agility test for flatbed. They were going to do it tomorrow on Thursday, and the reason why it hadn't happened yet is the person that does the test has been out sick for the past couple of weeks. I don't know if he had the corona thing or not, but he was just sick. So I had to go in early to do the testing. I met the fellow, nice guy, and we did the agility test. So I've been saying that I was going to tell you what I was going to be doing with that agility test, right? So here it is. First thing I had to do is I had to pick up a tarp. It was like this big, maybe this tall. And the thing was heavy. I think it's like 125 pounds. I just know it was heavy. And he set it down, and I had watched a video on YouTube on how to properly pick it up and carry it. So it's like, oh, I could use this. This looks like this would work pretty good for a tarp, right? Okay, so it was set on the ground. I turned it up like this, and the straps, the hooks, I turned away from me, and then I crouched down, put my hand underneath and my other hand up here, and then I just stood up. So I lift it with my legs, not my arms, with my legs. Still heavy, but then I had to put it on top of my shoulder. I barely got it on my shoulder. And then pretend this is a flatbed. Oh, here I am. Here I am. I had picked that up. This is the flatbed, okay? Don't pay attention to this. Okay, this is the flatbed here. I had to pick it up and walk with it on my shoulder all the way to the end here and then set it down. So basically, I just kind of dropped my shoulder and let it roll. And that's what I saw in the video. And then he had me turn around. I don't know if I remember if I turned around or not, or what I did, but basically I took the tarp, rolled it onto my shoulder, turned around, and then came back, and then put it onto the other side of the flatbed. Oh my goodness. Okay, and then he put it onto the ground, and then I had to pick it up and then put it back on. So that was the first test. The second test was straps. So now we'll take the full thing of this. It's not going to be a box, okay? Think of it as you got your flatbed here, and there's a whole bunch of stuff here. We went and was given these straps. They're all rolled up, and you had to pull some of it out. You got the rolled up part here, and it's kind of like this. If you had a roll of toilet paper, okay, it's coming out like this. I suppose I could go grab one, but I had to hold it with one hand and then toss the strap all the way over the flatbed thing. So the I had to throw the strap all the way over. Now he says, don't throw it, don't throw it. So when I was seeing him, it looked like he was doing it underhand, and I got one, and the first time I did it, it went it went up here and poof, and it fell down. The second time I did it, it went up and kind of landed up here, and he was like, oh, that's good. But what he showed me, and it just is basically, it's like swinging a baseball bat, all right? I'm holding it like this, and you're bringing your arm back like this or down here, and you're throwing it like this. So you're giving your entire arm motion like this and throwing it over. So, which I didn't do, but he showed me that. I'm like, oh, okay, well, yeah, that makes sense. But I passed that. That was fine. And then the next part, where in order to protect the cargo, where the straps are at, they have like these plastic protection things. So if this was your strap right here, there would be this plastic protector on top of it, or behind it, sorry. So if I'm the cargo, right, and I don't want a strap damaging me, there would be this plastic guard thing here that where the strap would lay on, so that way it's not cutting into anything, or whatever. If it's sharp, it's not cutting into the actual strap. So I had to use this long pole. He said it was kind of like a painter's brush. It was like one of those long painter brushes, but it had something on the end, some doohad or something like that. It was triangle shape. You had to lift the plastic guard thing and put it up on the top with the strap. So I'm using this long pole, and the strap is laying on top of it. So basically I had to, or the strap was already there. Yeah, so the strap was already there, and I had to work the plastic thing behind it and get it up there towards the top, and then lift it and bring it down. It's hard to describe when I'm actually doing it. I can show you folks. What it is. The last thing I had to do was the easier one, and that was we unfolded a tarp, folded back up, and then I rolled it as tightly as I could. Would have been better if I had gloves. My hands got all grimy and dirty. It was nasty. And then we strapped it up, and that was it. Apparently, I've become somewhat of a celebrity there at Swift with the flatbed division, because apparently people have been asking about me. They're like, hey, have you heard anything about him and da 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 da? And not that they know that I have a YouTube channel. That's not what I mean. It's that they don't get very many people that apply to get in the flatbed, and if they do apply, they don't stay. Not many people stay. So they were all excited about me coming to flatbed, and they are in need of people because they've got like a couple of signs out there where it says flatbed drivers, need it. Yep, I'm here to take my test. This is not the area, but look at this. They need flatbed drivers. Well, I'm only happy to oblige. It's going to be, don't kid yourself, it's going to be a lot of work. And that's why there are people that go into it and they're like, nah, I just don't want to do this. Just because there's a lot of work. And I know that going in. Yes, it is going to be a lot of work. But you know what? When I went into the Army, that was a lot of work too. There was a lot of stuff that I had to do that I really didn't want to do. What do I want to do? I want to sit at a desk and I, want to play my games and, I want to work on my videos and stuff. When I was in the military, at the time I wasn't doing videos. I was working on KILR radio. KILR radio, that's where the whole KILR thing started from, was KILR radio. Back then I called it KILR FM. And the little radio station, it was a make-believe radio station. I had a cast of cartoon characters, and I put things together. I had music. It was just like I treated it just like an actual radio station, and I recorded it. They were recorded on tapes when I was in the Army, and I was doing it. I had a digital audio tape deck, so a DAT. I had one of those. And I started doing my radio station on that. I was using the tapes where I could have like 4 hours. So it was a great way for me to make a mixtape with some comedy and stuff in there too. So yeah, this whole thing with me doing entertainment and production and stuff, that's gone back a long way. I mean, a long way. I mean, like back before I was a teenager type of thing. Because I would do these little audio movies and stuff on a cassette tape. And I have the tape deck still. It's kind of like a memento for me. I had this tape deck. I would set it on the it was the flat kind tabletop one. It has a little handle on the end. I would set it and a big speaker, a big speaker and a little condenser mic. I would set it on the table and I would record, and I had kind of like an outline of what I wanted to do for the little movie idea that I had, and then I would just improvise the whole thing and just let the tape roll, and I would just keep on going. That was before I was a teenager. And so I've got stuff when my voice was high pitched, and then you could hear it as my voice started going through puberty. And some of the voices that I did, I couldn't quite do later, or they didn't quite sound the same. But yeah, it's been going on for a while. But getting back to the whole flatbed thing, I know that it's going to be work, and you know what? That's okay. I'm going to need to work out a little bit more to get my muscles in better shape. But, I've been wanting something that's going to help keep me physically active, so that way I can continue to lose weight and be able to keep it off and just stay active. Because, being a trucker and out on the road a lot, it can be hard to try to find ways to stay active. There's ways to do it. But with flatbed, there's just it's just part of the job. There's just physical work involved. It's part of the job. So it's a great way for me to be active, right from the get-go. And then after that, I had a couple of hours before my test. So I went into the break room. The classes that were out on the training range, they had come in. they were talking with me. It's like, oh, is this your test day? And I'm like, yeah. And we're kind of talking and swapping stories and stuff. And then when their lunch was over and they went back out into the range, I had about an hour before the actual test. So, and I brought everything with me. So I brought my laptop, and it was heavy. I don't think it was 125 pounds heavy, but it was heavy. But I brought my laptop, brought my extension cord and the cable on the power cable, plugged it up into the wall, and I loaded up American Truck Simulator and I started practicing. And yeah, I think I may have done a couple of deliveries. At least one. I'm just trying to remember what it was that I did, but I know I did Vegas to Phoenix is what I did. All of my add-ons are on it. I started off in Las Vegas. I think that's where my garage is at. I can't remember. And then went to Phoenix because, hey, that's where I'm training, is Phoenix. And did my commentary and everything. And I did it out loud, but I kind of did it softly. One of the people that is in Top Gun this week kind of sat at the table with me, and we were kind of talking a little bit, and I'm just like, and he's kind of like looking over at me like, what's he doing? Type of thing. And the academy leader had come in, and she's like, what are we playing here? I said, this is American Truck Simulator. I'm practicing for the road test. He's like, oh, so you're going to be ready for the big thing next week, aren't you? And I said, yep. Yep, I'm going to be ready for that big simulator next week. We get to go play with that simulator. Yeah. Like I said, I don't know if I'm going to be able to get pictures or a video of it. If I can, that would be so awesome. But I don't know if I can. But I'm going to tell you as much as I can about that simulator, how it works, the types of things they can do with it. Another thing I'm curious about is the scale. Well, we know with American Truck Simulator and Euro Truck Simulator, the scale is much smaller. So a drive from Las Vegas to Phoenix is like, what, 15 minutes or something like that in the game. And, it's actually, 3 hours or 3 or 4 hours in real life. Because unlike Flight Simulator, which is 1-to-1 scale, Truck Simulator is not. It's treated more like a game than a simulator. So they figure that if it's going to be real time, people are going to be bored and aren't going to want to mess with it. So, and also the type of work they do on the scenery and stuff, it would take them it would take too long. So it's what they're doing is working. And then the other fellow that was testing with me had come in. We had chatted for a little bit. I went back and I started doing my driving and everything. And then when it was done, it was like, 12:45. And I went ahead and I just kind of packed it all up, put it in my bag because, I didn't want to get in the middle of any type of driving thing before the examiners came in. About 1 o'clock, the examiners came in. One of them took the one guy, and the other one took me, and we went out and did our testing. So, started off with the pre-trip inspection. I pretty much knocked that out of the park. Didn't have any problems with it. I did not get 100% though. I was so close. I forgot the torque rod at the end of the suspension of the tandem wheels. After that whole spiel of the torque arm and the torque rod, I forget the torque rod and the suspension thing. Ugh. But I got everything else. And one of the things that I had trouble trying to remember was over on the fifth wheel assembly where the release arm is at, called the safety latch. And I found a way to remember it by thinking of the song Safety Dance. You know, you can dance if you want to, except I called it the safety latch. You can latch if you want to. You can leave your friends behind, because if they don't if they don't latch, then you don't latch, and they're no friends of mine. Say, you can go if you want to. So that's how I remembered it. The safety latch. The safety latch. So I wound up remembering it, but then I forget the stupid torque rod. But yeah, so past that, no problem. Then we went to go do the skills. Did the straight line first, no problem. Did the offset, actually turned out pretty well. I had to do one pull-up, but the pull-up was as I was backing up, you have to be able to see a cone on each side, and I didn't see the cone on each side. I saw it on one and barely on the other. So I had to readjust. I had to fix it, fix the angle. So I did the pull up to fix it. Remember, if you need more space on one side, so if I barely see the cone on one side and I need more space there so I can see it, then I pull forward in that direction hard for like maybe 3 seconds and then straighten it back out. And if you need a little bit more, then you do it again. But once I had that, where the cone was on each side and I could see it on my mirrors, then I continued going back and finishing up the rest of the offset left parking. Worked just fine. You get 2 free pull-ups. Any extra pull-up counts as a point. But as far as get out and looks, you're only allowed 2. You can't take any more than that. But 2 is all that I needed, because there were 2 places that I needed to get out. And we talked about this in yesterday's episode, as a matter of fact, where I used the truck model and the little Lego row plates, and I explained what it is that we do. So I showed both of the get out and looks on there. But you can't get out after that. That's okay. I don't need to. Just like on the parallel parking, that was the third one. I do the get out and look to, do my arm test, make sure that it's not too close to the edge, but it's far enough in to be able to get the trailer all the way in. The second get out and look is when you're done and you're looking around to make sure the tractor and trailer are in the box. That's what your second one is for. So I did that, and I was getting a little worried, but I was like this, right? So the trailer actually was in the box. Was it like this? I can't remember. I think it was like this. Or I don't know. I think it was something like this. I don't know. It was sort of in there, but I had to kind of back it in, straighten it out, pull forward. I had to basically work my way in, but then I got it. It was in the box. For a moment, I thought I hit a cone. I thought I was on a cone or something, but no, it was. For a moment, I thought I was going to fail, but no, I didn't fail. I passed. Everything was good. The examiner was kind of funny. It's like, I don't know why they train you like that, because he said that the trailer was in the box. It was just the tractor that needed to be adjusted, because it was like this, apparently. So, which is kind of weird. I think it was something like this. It's hard to explain. But he said, just your trailer's in there. Don't worry about the trailer. Pretend it's not there. Just drive the tractor as if you were like a regular car. Pretend that's there and just kind of bring your truck in. That's all you had to do. So I'm like, oh, okay. And then after that, we went on the road trip. As we were going out of the Swift facility, he wanted me to perform an emergency stop. Instead of doing it on the actual road where there was traffic, he had me do it inside the actual plaza. And so he said, okay, you're going to go on this side of this lane. Not really lanes, but as far as the parking ways and stuff, you got all the trailers and stuff. So he had me driving on this left side, and he said this right side is going to be your shoulder. You're going to move over there. And so I performed that emergency stop when I got there, and then told him exactly what I would do to get back on the road. And then from there, we left the SWEF facility and actually got on the road. Did all of my commentary just as I, had done it before. Everything was fresh in my mind because of the simulator. And I'm so glad I did it. It helped keep everything fresh in my mind because I had just done it, on the simulator. And so it had me thinking about my tandem wheels, going around the corners and everything. And it was all good. There was only one part where I was doing my commentary, and the examiner said, "There was a blue sign you just passed. What was on that sign?" I'm like, I don't know. Okay. What would be on a blue sign? It wasn't on the interstate, so it wasn't like a rest area or anything. I'm like, it was on a regular road. What the heck would be on that blue sign? I can't think of anything on a blue sign that would be important. So unless he was messing with me, maybe he was messing with me because I was calling out everything that I was seeing. And it was like, what was on the blue sign? What blue sign? Maybe he was messing with me. I can't think of anything that would be on a blue sign on a regular roadway that would be of any importance. I'm curious about it, though. I think I know the actual route that we took. It's like I want to go drive it on my van, in my van, and look for that damn blue sign just to find out what the heck it was. Because I'm just curious now. What was it that I didn't see? I didn't ask him because he's not really allowed to say. But yeah, we got back. And I had to go around the track on the training ground because it's one way. So I had to go all the way around. We put the truck back where it was, and I'm like really hoping that I did everything right. And he just kind of said, I was like, all right, turn it off, shut it off, turn off the power. I'm like, he's like, welcome to Swift. He says, you can sound the horn. And I said, can I record this? And he says, yeah, sure. He got up, started walking. I'm like, yes. So what you saw was me actually there at that time. So I was hoping that the examiner, whoever it would be, would let me record. And they let me record. So I did that for you folks. I did that for you because the blowing of the air horn is that, and during the pre-trip is really the only exceptions there are to using that horn there on the training ground. It's kind of like a rite of passage. So you blow that air horn and people are like, yay, someone passed. So it was really cool. All in all, the process, it was about 3 hours with all three tests. It was about 3 hours. And that was with a little bit of break in between, moving from one test to another. The examiner has to read from his sheet word for word. Here are the instructions. Do you have any questions? Etc., etc. It's almost like someone's reading the rules of a game, right? I guess in a way it is a game. Can you move it into this spot? If so, yay. If not, game over. Game over, man. Game over. Or more like you lose, try again type of thing. But yeah, so in case you're wondering how long it takes, it's about 3 hours. it started at 1:15. At least that's when the official start time was. We didn't get going until about 1:30, and I was done after 4. So yeah, 3 hours. So when you go to test, expect that it's going to take about 3 hours. And then when that was done, he went in to go turn in the paperwork, and I followed along. I had to go see the academy leader. There was some more paperwork that I had to fill out and complete, and there's still more that has to be done. I have to do it tomorrow. But I was also given my welcome bag right here, my Swift welcome bag. And we're going to take a look at that here in a moment. So yeah, so I got that. And I also got, and this is really important, I have you'll get an envelope. You'll get an envelope like this, okay? And it's going to be sealed. And inside here is all the CDL information. You take that CDL, you take that envelope with all the CDL information into your local DMV, and they'll put it together and you get your license. Do not, I repeat, do not open that envelope. That envelope is sealed for a reason. It's like you're taking that sealed envelope and you're delivering it. If it's opened, then it's considered tampered with. And you know, the people at the DMV, for all they know, you could have faked stuff. So when you go through this and you get that envelope, don't open it, because that was not explained to me until I was on the bus. The guy was taking me over to the parking lot where my van was at, and he was saying, don't open that envelope. I'm like, oh, I'm glad you said something. Because I hadn't thought about opening it, but I probably might have, because I'm like, I wonder what this is, you know? So yeah, he told me don't do it. But then after that, it's just a matter of, you know, getting things ready for Top Gun. I'm going to that Top Gun program on Monday. So the vlog continues. The adventure continues. There's like so much stuff that's going on. And, you know, I'm documenting what I can for you folks, so that way you can see what it's like going through this Swift Academy and what it has to offer. And in case you've always wondered, you know, for those that are Swift drivers, you know, how do they actually train their people? Well, here you go. You know, I'm giving you a run through right now, day by day, on what it is, how they train us, and training seems really good to me from what I can see. So whatever problem drivers that are out there with Swift, I don't think they were trained by the academy. And if they were trained by the academy, then it's not an academy thing, it's the driver thing. So I'm not pointing any fingers at the Swift Academy at all. From what I can see, they're very competent people, and they do some really good training. So these Swift drivers that get into accidents and stuff, it's either one of three things. It was just an unfortunate incident that couldn't be avoided. The driver was never trained by Swift in the first place. You know, they got their CDL somewhere else. Or 3, the individual did go through Swift training, but then really didn't take the job seriously, slouched off or whatever, you know, and wound up in an act, you know, because some people do that. They know what they need to do, but they take shortcuts and slack off, I guess you could say. So the accidents that you see, you know, on the internet in regards to Swift, I think it's mainly those 3 things. From what I see, I don't believe that someone who's gone through the Swift Academy and takes the driving seriously winds up in the type of crap that I've seen on some of these YouTube videos where Swift drivers are going through people's yards and rolled over and all this other crazy stuff. So yeah, it's definitely not the academy that's at fault. I mean, they were superb as far as I'm concerned. Let's go ahead and take a look at that bag. Let's see what we got in that bag. Okay, so here is the Swift goodie bag. So what do we have here? We have a welcome. I was given a safety vest. You know, you can vest if you want to. You can do the safety vest. And then some shirts. I think I got 4 shirts in here. It looks like I've got 2 black and 2 blue. And then a water bottle. Then I got this alcohol and drug testing. What drivers need to know. Let me tell you, I don't do alcohol. I don't do drugs, so that doesn't apply to me. I don't really need it. And then hazmat transportation. It's interesting how they have this, but they don't do hazmat. So I couldn't find anything that they did hazmat. I mean, they don't have tankers, so well, I don't know. But I do want to do this. I do want to do hazmat. So that's workbook. So more work. Got to do. I got a pin. It says Swift on it. Woo! And then we've got the Mentor Student Driver Guide. So there's going to be a lot of stuff that I'm going to have to look over here. So homework. And what else? Anything else in here? Oh, my payment card. That's what's in this envelope here. So for my security, I'm not going to show you what the card looks like. It's a ComData card. So your pay goes on that card, unless you set up direct deposit, which I'll be doing. But I think that ComData card is also used for fueling or something. I don't know exactly how it works, but they will explain that. But that's it. That is everything. Nope, it's not. No, there's still 2 other things in here. We got a tire with Swift on it. What is this? I think it's a stretch ball. It's a stress ball, yeah. So when you're doing your skills, your parallel parking, you're like, it's not going in the direction I want. Yeah, that's what this is for. Or if you're stuck in, rush hour traffic and no one's moving, really, yeah. So now this is actually kind of a comfy little thing. Anyway, then we got this. What is it? A keychain? Yeah, it's a keychain. Does it do anything else? Is it a button? Ooh, it lights. Neato. Cool stuff. Well, folks, the big day is over, but there's many, many more days that are on the way. So if you're not subscribed, I hope you will and be a part of this channel, because there's a great adventure ahead of us. The training is still continuing. I got Top Gun that's going to be happening next week. Then there is 4 weeks of mentoring on the road as a flatbed driver before I can go solo and have my own truck. So lots of excitement and interesting things are on the way. Who knows where this story will lead us? But I've got my commercial driver's license. That's the big thing. You know, doors are going to open up now all over the place. I don't really see myself going anywhere, other than Swift for a while. I don't intend to bounce around. I would like to stay with one place. Like I've mentioned in other videos, the last job I was at, I was there for 9 years, almost 10. I don't know if I'm going to stay that long with Swift, because, eventually I would like to own my own truck. Now, I might be contracted with Swift, or leased on to Swift. I guess that might be a better word. I don't mean leasing a truck from them, but when you get your own truck, you can lease with a carrier. And so that's what I may do. I may lease with Swift during that time. Eventually, I would like to do tankers, and Swift doesn't do it. So once I get to the point where I want to do tankers, then that'll be the time where I'll go somewhere else. But Swift has a lot to offer. They have a lot to offer, so I don't see any reason of going anywhere else right now. And yeah, you could probably make more money in some other places, but you know what? I'm not so much looking for the money. Yeah, the money is good. I'm just looking more for stability. I say this now, I don't know how it's going to be like in a year or two from now. You could be watching this 5 years after I've created this video, and it's a whole different story. But it'll be interesting getting from where we are here to 5 years down the road. But anyways, I hope you'll subscribe, and if you like this video, thumbs up. It helps with the whole YouTube algorithm thing. And leaving some comments, let me know of your experiences in trucking or with training, or simulating, or any of that type of stuff. And dig around on the channel if you haven't already. Take a look and see what this channel has, because it's not a trucking channel. There's a whole bunch of stuff here, and this is an entertainment channel. First and foremost, this is a entertainment channel, and there's going to be a lot more stuff that's going to be coming. It's all on hold right now until I finally go solo in my own truck. Then I'll have my own space, and I'll be able to bring my stuff with me. Not all of my stuff, but I'll be able to bring my stuff with me, so that way I can take my studio on the road with me and do some more stuff. So yeah, there's fun stuff that's on the way. Just got to take care of these real life things first. But it's all being documented on this series. Anyways, thanks so much for watching. I appreciate it, and I will see you on tomorrow's episode. Have a killer awesome trucking day.